Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome to my channel, The Goddess in Me. And in this week's pick a card reading, we will be taking a look at what is blocking you. Okay. And so these are the three cards for each pile. Go ahead, take a look, see which one calls out to you the most, which one you feel like you're resonating with the most. I'll put the image up again for a couple of more seconds. This way you can see which one you feel the connection with. All right. Please keep in mind that this reading is for the collective, so only take the messages that you feel are resonating with you and gently release those that do not. All right. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this week's reading. Hello to those of you who chose pile number one. And so this is the Ace of Swords image that you all chose. All right. And so we are going to be jumping in with this reading and taking a look at what is blocking you. All right. And so I've already pre-pulled your oracle messages. So we will start with those and then we will be clarifying with the tarot. All right. So let's jump right into it. And the first card you have is losing yourself. All right. And it says you feel lost in your partner. It's okay to be yourself and have your own life too. All right. So you guys have losing yourself. All right. And so some of the messages that's coming through with this card is that I'm picking up like a family vibe, right? So someone who is catering to their family. So you may be someone who's married with children, right? And so in this point of your life, you may feel like you are overly dedicating time to a lot of responsibilities, right? Like I said, I'm picking up the more so energy of a family vibe right at this moment, where you may have like household responsibilities, motherly responsibilities, spousal responsibilities, right? And so you're constantly on a run doing things that is for the benefit of others, right? I'm even picking up soccer mom. Some of you may be like soccer moms, right? Where you're just constantly on a go, because you have this to get the kids to, you have to do this for the kids, you have these events, and just like an ongoing list of responsibilities. Okay. And then on top of that, you still have to go home and cook, clean, and take care of your house responsibilities. And I'm also even picking up that some of you even have jobs, right? Your own like job that you have to report into. So it's just like a whirlwind of responsibilities that's surrounding for whoever this is resonating with. And it's just you've got lost in the sauce, right? You've got lost in everything that's going on around you, to the point where there may be a lack of self-care, there may be a lack of motivation, you may just feel like so worn out and so drained from the everyday activities that you don't even want to participate in anything extra, right? So you may decline invites from friends who wants to go out or hang out or whatever, because you're just so tired and you're so drained. All right. So that's the main energy that's coming through. And for some of you, another energy that's coming through is some of you may be just someone who you may not have that whole family dynamic, that whole family scenario going on, but you may be someone who caters to your partner, right? So you're I'm not going to say you're okay with taking the passenger seat, but you've allowed yourself to take that passenger seat, and you do only what appeals to this other person, right? And so for both of the scenarios, the message is that you've lost yourself, and that's your blockage, right? Because you're not living through your authentic self. You're not doing the things that you want to do. You're no longer seeking the things that you're passionate about. Okay. What's also coming through is someone who has artistic abilities, right? So some of you may be artists. Maybe at some point you enjoy painting. I'm getting oil painting, canvas. Like this is what's coming through. Some of you may had a hobby doing something like that for whoever that resonates with. But either way, you're at this point now where you have lost whatever that was, okay? Lost whatever passion that was that you had that allowed you to enjoy yourself, to allow that allowed you to have like this sense of freedom, right? This sense of purpose. So some of you, this is what your blockage is, right? You're overexerting yourself in a lot of different areas in your life that does not pertain to you. All right. You're overexerting yourself in a lot of areas in your life that doesn't pertain to you. Okay. That does not satisfy you, that does not fulfill you. All right. And as this card says, it's okay to be yourself and have your own life too. All right. And so this is where you need to pay attention. This is the area of your life where you need to pay attention and get back to self. Okay. It's okay to put things on the back burner. It is okay to just say, you know what, I'm not doing it today. I'm not cleaning today. I'm not cooking today. Today is going to be a me day. Okay. Whether that's just having some time to read a book, get a manicure, pedicure, or just outside nature time. All right. It's okay. It's okay. Spirit is saying it's okay to have time to self and neglect things that are draining you. All right. It's okay to have that me time space. All right. Because right now you're physically, mentally, emotionally overwhelmed. Okay. So for whoever this is resonating with, you're physically, mentally, and emotionally overwhelmed. And this is why you may not consciously know it, but subconsciously you are losing yourself. Okay. So it's time to get back to self, is what Spirit is saying. It's time to do the things that are relaxing, that are pleasing, that are satisfying to you. And it's okay to put things on the back burner. All right. All right, look at this. And then you guys have double life. Yes, double life. And it says someone is juggling stories, identities, or relationships and hoping no one notices the overlap. All right. So with this, I'm getting like you may be someone on the outside looking in that appears that you have everything together, right? It appears that you have all your ducks in a row, right? To the outside world, you may look like super mom or super dad, all right? Because you're pulling all of this stuff off, right? All of these responsibilities, you're managing to pull them off. What they don't see, the other side of this, what they don't see is the neglection that you're giving to self. All right, the neglection that you're giving to self. So the double life is like you appear to be okay on the outside, but on the inside, you're not. That's your double life, right? You may look like Superman or Superwoman on the outside looking in, but internally, it's like this. You have this burning desire for more. I'm even getting like some of you just want to just like really like, I don't want to say neglect in a bad way, but just like throw in this towel and be like, you know what? I need some me time. I just I need it. Right. Um, and so this is your blockage. All right. This is your blockage. Your blockage is that you are overly giving. Okay. And because of you're overly giving to outside circumstances and situations. And because of that, you may be missing out on some opportunities. You might be missing out on some blessings because you're not paying attention to self. You're paying attention to everyone else, that you're not seeing the little blessings that spirit may be trying to give to you. All right. They want you to rest and relax. They want you to take it easy. They want you to find yourself again. They want you to find that spark in life again, that spark of life again, for whatever that is, or for each and one of every one of you, it's going to look different. But some of you out there have some creative endeavors that you want to be a part of, or that you once were a part of, that you've lost touch with, right? And it's time for you to get back to that, because that's going to help you to become centered and grounded. Okay, that's going to help you to find that joy and that spark in life again. All right, and so in order to do that, you have to pay more attention to what's going on for you, not only externally, but also internally as well. Okay, and then you guys have being blind. You refuse to see the truth about the matter, right? And what's coming through with this is that some of you just you may honestly feel like this is what your purpose is. Your purpose is to be just running around with your chicken, like a chicken with their head cut off, right? As long as you're making sure that everyone else around you is okay. But not tapping in and making sure that you are okay. So I'm not going to even say pretend, but some of you may feel like this, you have this duty, right? You have this motherly duty, you have this fatherly duty, you have this employee duty, right? You have this employee or motherly or spousal duty is what you feel like to do and make sure that everyone else around you is okay. So you're refusing to see the truth around the matter, which is you're not okay. All right, you're not happy. You've lost yourself. All right, you've lost yourself. And I'm really picking up the family vibe, right? You've lost yourself in the process due to what you've built around you, right? And you kind of like you feel you've succumbed to that, and you feel like, okay, this is what life is now. Now that I'm married, now that I have children, this is what life is now. It's all about them. And spirit is saying no, it's about you also. Okay, and you have to remember to give yourself the time and attention that you need, and don't walk through life ignoring that you're not happy. All right, and that's just what it boils down to. A lot of you are not happy because you are not doing what pleases the soul. You're not doing what pleases your spirit. Okay, and your spirit is, feeling the gist, like the bulk of that, right? Because they know that there's more in you. They know that you have more to offer. Okay, not only to yourself but to the world. All right, but you've been swamped by life, and you've been swamped by all of the things around you to the point where you've lost yourself in the process. All right, and you're pretending that it's okay. And I like how this is coming up with the double life, because on the outside you're pretending that this is okay, this is what life is now, this is what happens when you get a full-time career that you love, or when you get married and have kids. This is what life is about. You have to devote all your time, attention, and efforts into that. You have to feed all of your energy into that, right? No, it's not right. Okay, it's what spirit is saying. You have to learn to feed the attention into yourself as well. All right, start doing things that makes you happy again. All right, that's what spirit is saying. You all need to start doing things that makes you happy again. And I'm getting that it can be small, subtle things. Some knitting is coming through. Some of you may enjoy knitting. All right, and like I was getting earlier with the canvas and the oil painting, some of you may enjoy that type of craft. All right, it can be the littlest things, okay, that will allow you to tap in and tune into yourself all over again. And this is what spirit wants you to do, to tap in and tune into yourself all over again. Find yourself again. All right, find yourself again, and not allow yourself to be I just picture like the see like this whirlwind of things floating around you, right? Like a whirlwind, like tornado, like almost like, and you're in the middle of it. All right. And spirit is saying it's time to declutter that energy and get back to the center and to the focus of self. All right. And stop acting like it's okay to be in this energy, because it's not, and it's causing barriers, blockages, and walls that you don't see. All right. All right, and then you also have avoidance, okay? And it says it's key to see the need to avoid discomfort, but also to overcome it and thrive. All right, confrontation and progress. All right. And I feel like with this avoidance, it's like some of you may just avoid the fact that you're not in a happy space, because it keeps things peaceful, right? And this avoidance is like fitting with the being blind card. Like you rather just pretend that the chaos that's going on around you is not there, or that um, it's just what it is, right? It's just life. It's just, what life is. Um, because you've kind of succumbed to that, and it's like there's like this energy, almost this energy of defeat around this, right? um but as the card says, it's key to see the need to avoid discomfort, but also to overcome it and thrive. Okay, so recognizing the things that needs to be addressed, all right, needs to be addressed, and no longer overlooking it. It's okay, like I was saying earlier, to say, you know what, I'm not going to cook, I'm not going to clean today, regardless of who it might upset. All right. Regardless of who may not be okay with it. Right. And just don't stop feeling like you have this need to always make sure that everyone else is fulfilled. Okay. And then you have a resentful. Think loving thoughts for the person or yourself that you resent. It's restricting your emotional happiness. All right. And what's coming through with this is that I feel like some of you may resent like um some of your life choices that have landed you here where you're at, right? And maybe even the person, some of you may like seriously question like, why did I get in this relationship, or why did I get in this career, or why did I build these things around me, right? And spirit is just saying it's about balance. So it's not that the things around you are the problem. It's that at this time you're not knowing how to find the balance, right? You're putting that situation before you. You're putting that situation first. And there's a sense of neglection around the energy and the focus that you're putting towards yourself. All right. And this is why you're losing yourself in this process. All right. So it's just about finding the right balance. All right. It's about finding the right balance, but also not putting blame on anything or anyone. All right. This is the life that you've created for a reason. As you know, we're predestined to have the lives that we have here because we choose them before we come down here. So the life was chosen for a reason, right? So there's no reason to resent any of the situations or circumstances. The point is to learn from them. Okay, what are you supposed to take away from these situations? And I feel like in your case, what you're supposed to take away from this is learning how to find balance. Okay, learning that you can have both. You can have emotional happiness on more than just one level. You can have emotional happiness on more than just, knowing that everyone else is satisfied. Some of you may feel, okay, I'm happy because I know I made my family is happy or my spouse is happy. So that in a sense makes you happy because you were able to service and um, provide to them, right? But there's also this need for you to service and provide for yourself, right? And emotional happiness can come from that as well. So you just need to find the balance between being able to do both. All right. And then you have quick tempered. Think before you speak. Put space between your thoughts and the words that come out. All right. So yeah, so this is not, it's not, I'm getting a frustration from this with this quick temper, with this losing yourself and just like pretending to be um okay, right? Pretending to be okay. Um, you guys may have a shorter fuse, right? So you may be more easily angered, and it could be out of just frustration, right? Out of frustration because you're not where you want to be emotionally, right? And it's like you know you're doing something right, which is catering to and providing for others, but there's still something missing, right? And so that's where the frustration builds up at. And it's also frustration because you have to pretend, right? You have to pretend everything is okay. You have to pretend that all your ducks are in a row and everything's fine, right? But internally, you're like screaming, and that it's not, right? It's not. And so you may get, and this is why you may get easily frustrated or may have this quick temper, because it's like a way of the spirit like releasing this frustration, right? Because it's like it's built up. It's built up. And this is why another reason why you getting back to things that make you happy will help to release that. Okay, it'll help put you more in balance. It'll help give you more grounding. Okay, it's what's coming through. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what additional messages you have with the tarot. So thank you, my beautiful beloved Mother Goddess Isis. What additional messages do you have for pile number one? Um, so yeah, it's okay for you to realize that what's coming through is that like you're being a servant right now, right? You're being a servant, and it's like you're catering to everyone else, and it's not giving you what you need. All right, the King of Pentacles. Yeah, and the King of Pentacles is a very stable king. And so I feel like with this, it's like you guys are stable financially. Okay, some of you may be really stable financially. Um, some of you may, have literally have all your ducks in a row, right? Everything, the kids are good, the home is good, the career is good. So I feel like with this King of Pentacles showing up, you guys are very stable materialistically, right? In the 3D, but there's a lack of emotional stability around you all. All right. And as this card says here, it's restricting your emotional happiness. All right. So that's your blockage. You guys are okay financially. You're stable financially. You're stable materialistically, but there is a void in your emotional space. And that's because you're not allowing yourself to be emotionally fulfilled, because you're too busy emotionally fulfilling others. All right. And then, yes, look at this. I love it. You guys have the Eight of Pentacles. And what did I say? Like, and this Eight of Pentacles represents the card of crafting, right? The card of doing what you love, right? Yes, yes, yes. And this is exactly what you guys are being called to do. Go back into doing what you love, all right? Doing what you love, and putting or focusing or giving yourself more time. What's coming through is that you guys need to dedicate a day, at least a day, to yourself in a week. Okay? To do what you love, to do what you like, to get back into things that you may have been into, but you've neglected because of everything else that's going on around you. Dedicate at least, okay, so once a month now is actually what's coming through. All right. So if you could do that at least once a month, that's a start. All right. That's a start. And eventually, as time goes by, you'll probably realize how therapeutic that is for you, and you'll want to invest more time into doing so. And yes, Ace of Pentacles. All right. This is the opportunity for you to ground yourself. This is the opportunity for you to ground yourself and receive the blessings. I'm getting rooted blessings from the universe. All right. And some of you may have some of your creative abilities or endeavors could possibly bring in financial gain also, with this Ace of Pentacles showing up. All right. So some of you may have a talent or a hobby or a side hustle, I'm getting, that could bring in money. If it's not in the future, maybe it's something that you used to do in the past that brought in money, but you kind of like fell back on it, and you haven't been fully invested into it because of time that you put elsewhere. All right. But there's a lot of there's a lot of potential in you, pal number one, but you've lost yourself in the process of everything else going back to, you've lost yourself in the process of everything going on around you. And now it's time for you to recenter, regroup, refocus. All right. Because that's your current blockage. Your current blockage is that you're exerting all of this energy right now. And not gonna say in the wrong spaces, but you're putting too much in external spaces and not enough on self. All right. So that's going to be what needs to be adjusted or addressed in order for you to um, get a different flow of energy coming in for you, a different flow of opportunities coming in for you. All right. To release some of those blockages. All right, my lovely pal number one, that is all I have for you for this week's reading. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. And until next time, my loves, take care and bye bye. Hello to those of you who chose pal number two. And so this is the Ace of Swords image that you chose. All right. And so we will be jumping in to take a look to see what is blocking you. All right. And so I've already pre-pulled your oracle messages. So we will start with those. And then we will be clarifying with the tarot. All right. And so the first message you have is hiding feelings. All right. And it says you need to express how you feel to the one you love to see how they feel in return. All right. So, yes, what's coming through is some of you are holding back. All right. Some of you are holding back on your expressions, okay, emotionally. All right. And I feel like mainly this is to do with relationship. Okay. So some of you are not expressing yourself enough. Okay. Whether that is someone you are in pursuit of or someone who you are currently with at the moment, there is a lack of communication around feelings. All right. I really feel like this is a pursuit of energy that's coming through. Some of you are not being openly expressive, okay, about someone you are in pursuit of. And I'm even getting maybe even an ex. Some of you maybe want to get back with an ex for whoever that resonates with. But yeah, let's actually pull. We'll already pull, but let's look at the other cards to see if we can get more information. All right. And then you guys have live and learn. All right. And it says mistakes were made, but what matters is what's being done differently now. All right. So some of you, okay, so what's coming through is some of you may be in a rocky place with the relationship. All right. Some of you may be in a rocky place or rocky space. I'm even picking up there maybe have been some infidelity. Okay. Some infidelities that may have transpired or taken place. All right. Either on your behalf or on the other person's behalf. All right. So there's this sense of maybe tension around the relationship because of it. I'm getting like a lack of trust. Okay, so even if it's not to do with infidelity, there is still an energy of a lack of trust because of something that was done. And so now there's kind of like this like elephant in a room type of energy around the two of you, however this pertains to you, or even like walking on eggshells, so as to not offset anyone, right? Someone's emotions or bad vibes or bad energies, right? So yeah, there's like this sense of energy around someone's relationship in regards to that. All right. So what needs to happen is that there needs to be open communication. All right, there needs to be open communication, especially if you're in a place where you have forgiving someone or someone has forgiven you. It's no point of continuing on in a relationship if you've been forgiven or have forgiven someone, but you're still going to hold on to that same energy. Okay, with this live and learn card here, like it says, mistakes were made, but what matters is what's being done differently now. So how are you going to move past this energy? How are you going to move forward with this energy? And what's coming through is being open and honest about the feelings. Okay, hiding feelings. So it's just like, let's just say, if you've forgiven someone for a wrongdoing, whatever that wrongdoing may look like, you've forgiven them externally, right? You maybe even have vocalized it that you forgiven them, but internally there's still this resentful type of feeling around it. Like there's like this resentfulness, or you resent this person internally because it's just like you're like, how could they, or how dare they, right? Um, so what needs to happen is that you need to, whoever this is resonating with, you need to release those energies and release those feelings, because they're only going to pile up or build up more and more. Okay. So it needs to be expressed and talked about openly. All right. It needs to be expressed and talked about openly in order to fully, um, in order to fully be released from the energy that's surrounding it. All right. And then you guys have out of sync. You feel like you can't keep up with all the changes. Yes. And this is why I was saying, like, there's this energy of like tension or things being like out of balance. So it's like the elephant in the room or walking on eggshells, right? Because things aren't aligned anymore. All right. Things aren't aligned anymore. Um, Externally, like I said, it's like, okay, yeah, the situation was forgiven or the person was forgiven, and it's like, okay, um, we've moved past that, right? Externally, but internally, it's not resolved. Okay, it's what spirit is saying. Internally, it's not resolved, and this is what's causing the misalignment or things being out of sync. Okay, and not just, even not just for you, but if who, however this relates to you, it's between you and the situation, between you and the relationship, right? And so I mean, take whatever this is that happened as a lesson learned. Okay, what is what spirit is saying? Take it as a lesson learned and see how you can grow from it, whether on an individual level or whether it is in a relationship level, on a relationship level. Like, how are the two of you meant to grow from this? Right? What lesson was meant to be learned from this? Look at how it can make you stronger as a whole rather than weaker, right? Rather than the bonds being breaking. All right. And for some of you, this may have, your relationship may have been put, this is like a test, right? Um, it may have been put through this trial or this test to see how you all can not even thrive, but recover from situations like this. Um, but right now, there is a misalignment around you and whatever situation this is, and things are out of sync. Um, as the card says, you feel like you can't keep up with all the changes, right? And I feel like with that message also what's coming through is that now there may be like a bunch of different emotions and feelings coming towards you, that you don't know how to manage, right? Because you, like I say, you may have even talked yourself into believing that things are okay, or that whatever happened, it's okay. It's like you talked yourself out of it to be able to deal with it on a physical aspect, but you haven't really convinced yourself enough for it to be fulfilled on an internal aspect, right? And so this is why it needs to be communicated. This is why the true feelings need to be expressed around whatever this is, okay? And not just the cover up, not just the cover up. It's like, oh yeah, it's okay, you know, we move past it. Everything's fine, we'll go from here. No, it's like it needs to be truly expressed in a sense of this was really bad. I'm really hurt. I don't even know. Like I said, I forgive you, but I don't even know. Like if I fully do, I don't know how we're gonna. Like it just all needs to fully come out in the most truest way that it can. Okay, so that it can fully be released. All right. And look at this. Right when I'm saying that it fully needs to come out, you have light the darkness. All right. And it says darkness cannot dispel darkness. Only light can. Yes, you need to bring these things to the light. Okay. You need to bring these emotional challenges that you're having to the light. And it says love, clarity, and awareness. Yes, making the other person around the situation aware of what's really going on. All right, so that people don't have to walk on eggshells, so people don't have to pretend, okay, pretend that everything is okay, knowing that it's not. All right, so bringing light to the situation is what's going to bring clarity and awareness around the situation. All right, and if this is not someone else in your life that has done a wrongdoing, it could be you that has done the wrongdoing, right? And there's this lack of distrust or loyalty um, around how someone is, receiving you. Okay, so it can resonate either way. Okay, either you were the wrongdoer or someone else was the wrongdoer. But either way, I mean, it's going to take for whoever you are in the situation for it to be brought to light. Okay, it's going to take for it to everything to be put on the table in regards to what's going on around this situation and how you can truly move past and move forward. Okay, and then you guys have a victim mentality. The universe wants what's best for you, not the worst. Change your perspective. All right, and this okay. So the message is coming back to where this could have been a challenge or a test for someone in a situation, in a relationship, and this could have just been a like life has its weird way of throwing things at us as lessons, right? And at the time we don't view them as that, but it comes to a point where you have to really, as this card say, change your perspective and really take a look at what's going on, what has went on, what will be going on, right? And just really put all of those aspects together to see what were you supposed to learn from this, right? What were you supposed to get from this, and changing that angle, right? So that you don't have to live in this victim mentality where feeling like everything that was done wrong to you was not right, or you know just feeling like you're always the victim, or just feeling put in this energy like boxing it all in, right? You have to learn how to change the perspective and like really put things out there in a sense of understanding why it happened. Okay, because just saying that you're okay with the situation when you're not really okay with the situation is just going to keep that energy circulating, right? And it's not going to allow the room for the growth that's needed. All right. As the card says, the universe wants what's best for you, not the worst. So what could the universe have been teaching you with this situation you're going through? Okay. Um, and it could be just this, so for you to learn how to express your emotions, for you to learn how to express your feelings. This could have been the the karmic lesson that was surrounding this whole situation. Okay, maybe you're someone who normally always keeps your feelings and your emotions bottled up, right? And so it came a point in time where the universe knew you would have to break out of this in order to move on to the next phase or the next chapter. They knew you would have to fulfill this karmic debt before you can move on to the next phase or the next chapter. And so the situation that has been put around you has kind of put you in a space where, do I stick to my bottled up emotions, or do I learn to work through them? Okay, do I learn to express myself? Do I learn to live and learn and know that sometimes in life these things are going to happen, but I can't run away from them. I have to learn how to express how I feel about them. Okay. So I have to learn to bring the light into the darkness. Okay. Light the darkness. Okay. This is okay. So this is making more sense now. The message that's coming through for your blockage is that you are being called to learn how to release your emotions. Okay. To put it all out there. Okay. So to not bottle them up. All right. And understand and accept when you're not okay with situations or circumstances. Okay. And being okay with expressing that in your own way. All right. And in your own way, and just, putting it out there, whether someone wants to hear it or not. All right. So yeah, so this is your blockage, is that you bottle up your feelings and your emotions. That's your blockage, pal number two. You hide your feelings. You rather just soak in the darkness, right? Rather than bringing the light into it. And you rather just take that victim mentality that, oh, of course it's me, it's always me, or things done to me, rather than taking it as a live and learn lesson. All right. And this is what's putting you out of sync. All right. And then you have selfish, with you are wrapped in your own desires. Try looking at and caring about the needs of others. Yes, and this fits well with the victim mentality, right? Because when you have that victim mentality, it's kind of easy to be like, oh, it's not my fault. It's theirs. It's they're the reason why this happened to me. That alone is could be a selfish way of thinking, right? um, and also being selfish, what's coming through is the sense that you do keep things to yourself. You keep your emotions and your feelings to yourself. All right, it's what's also coming through with the selfish card. And so try looking at and caring about the needs of others. Okay, try looking at how you being expressive and putting it out there on the table could help not only clear things up for you, but for the other person or the situation as well. Right. So learning to share, learning to be expressive, learning to open up. All right. So this way, and this what's coming through is you doing that, is how the hiding the feelings card had initially said. Um, you doing that opens the door for the other person or the situation to also have the desire to be open, right? So they may say, oh, okay, since we're putting it all out there, let me tell you how I feel, right? And it won't always, it may not always even be good feedback, right? Sometimes, people say things we don't want to hear, but we have to allow them that space. Same way you need to be allowed the space to be able to speak how you feel, good or bad, right? But however it is, it's still a sense of communication, right? And it's like I'm getting like a release, a load, a heavy load being lifted, right? Just from being able to say, whew, I finally got that off my chest. Right, I finally was able to say how I truly, really feel about this situation or this scenario. All right, and so now let's take a look at what additional tarot messages wants to come through. So thank you, beautiful, beloved Mother Goddess Isis. What additional messages do you have for pal number two? But I'm getting like there there was like something that was done that has not been fully forgiven, whether it was to you or by you, right? And so there's kind of like this energy of people pretending to be okay, as the card is saying, like hiding the feelings around how you truly feel about something, right? And that's your blockage. All right, is that you're not being honest. You're not being honest to yourself or to others around this situation, right? And that's your blockage, and that's what's going to keep the energy surrounding you. That's what's going to keep that energy surrounding you, is you keeping it the the truth of how you feel bottled up. All right. That's what's going to keep that energy around you. And so, pal number two, you are being called to get out of that victim mentality and feeling like, um, what's okay. So what's coming through is that you all need to also look at the situation through the lens or the eyes of the other person. All right. And I know that don't sound like the best, especially if you were someone who was done wrong, but you have to kind of look at the situation through the lens of the other person. That's what's coming through. Yes, and we have justice here. Yes, justice comes through and clears things up, right? Justice comes in to restore balance. Okay. So it's like, okay, if with this situation, it's like if you forgive, you move on, you truly move on. If you don't, then you don't. There's no middle ground, right? And so on the external, there is the sense of forgiveness, but it's not on the internal. So that's where the imbalance is, right? And so justice comes through to clear things up, all right, to clear the space. And this is what you all need to do, pile number two. Come through and clear the space. All right. And justice, with it being a major arcana card, this is the universe or your guides coming through to help you to do that, to help you find the strength to do that. All right. To clear the space around this. Okay. And then you also have temperance. All right, temperance is another card of balance and alchemizing. So you all need to alchemize this energy, clear this energy, and just be truthful about your feelings around whatever situation this is for you. All right. No longer being selfish about it and just keeping it bottled up. And it's like you're leaving it up to the other person to figure it out, right? You figure out what type of day it's going to be. You figure out if I'm going to be in a good mood or a bad mood, or, you know, it's time to clear up that space and energy around it and just putting it out there. All right. So that you can be more in sync. All right. You being more in sync with the universe, with self, and with whoever else this pertains to in your life, okay, around the situation, so that you can move forward. All right, Six of Swords. And Six of Swords is the card of moving away from more difficult, challenging times to more peaceful ones, right? And so this is what you're being asked to do: clear space, find the balance, alchemize the energy so that you can move past this difficult time. All right, addressing the elephant in the room. All right, addressing the elephant in the room and moving forward from it. And when you move forward from it, you have to realize you can't take that baggage with you. You have to leave the past in the past. All right, leave the past in the past, leave the past behind, and find a new spot to anchor your energy. All right. Find a new spot to anchor your energy. All right. But there's definitely a clearance that's needed around you in this situation in order for you to be able to do so. All right. So, my lovely pal number two, that is what I have for you for this week's reading. Please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. And until next time, my loves, take care and bye bye. Hello to those of you who chose pound number three. And so this is the Ace of Swords image that you chose. All right, there we go. So we are going to jump right in and take a look at what is blocking you. All right, and I've already pre-pulled your oracle messages, so we will start with those, and then we will be clarifying with the tarot. All right, and so the first card you have is too much work. Okay, and it says you tell yourself it's too much work, but it's really an excuse not to get involved. All right, and so what's coming through here is that a lot of you guys are like cutting yourself short. It's like you have this high potential, but you just haven't reached it yet, right? Um, I'm even getting the word like laziness coming through, right? It's like a lot of you have so much potential that you haven't fully tapped into, and it's intentional. I feel like because you don't want to overgive Okay. What's coming through is like someone who has this potential or this ability to, let's just say you're at a job right now and you are overly qualified, or you could fit well for the position of stepping up, okay, maybe into something even managerial, and you refuse to because you feel like it would be too much work, right? So it's like you're not challenging yourself enough. Okay, it's what spirit is saying, and that's your blockage. So you're not going to get all of the opportunities that you seek or you desire, because you're not challenging yourself enough in different spaces or different areas of your life. And it's because you're telling yourself that it's too much work, right? Oh, I would like to do that, but now it's too much work. Oh, I want to go here, but I don't want to do it because it's to do that, it's going to take too much work. So it's like you come up with these excuses not to get involved, as the card says, because you tell yourself uh, that in doing so will require too much effort. And spirit is saying to have that mentality is to limit yourself. All right. So don't be afraid of the work. Don't be afraid of the challenge, because I feel like you are someone who is more than capable of doing it. Even you know this yourself. But it's like this energy of around it of like why, like from you. It's like you're like why put in this much work or this much effort towards something, especially if it's something that doesn't fully pique your interest, right? The spirit is saying because that is the doorway to the next thing. Okay, that's the doorway to the next thing that will pique your interest, that will give you some type of excitement. It's like spirit is saying you have to start somewhere, you have to prove yourself somewhere. All right, and you guys are not doing that, which is causing the blockages, and it's causing for the opportunities that you really want to come through, to not do so. All right. And then you guys have pulling strings, okay? And it says it's not what you know, it's who you can control. Someone is orchestrating the situation to make sure they stay on top. All right. Um, and I feel like actually, I feel like this pulling strings is you. All right. I feel like you rather what's coming through is you rather let someone else do the dirty work or get their hands dirty, right? You rather let someone else do it, let someone else get the attention, or let someone else get the focus. Like it's like you're okay with being in the background. All right. You're okay with orchestrating from the background. Um, because you feel like to be in the forefront or to be the one on top will be putting in too much effort. All right. um and so I do feel like this energy is you, like you're the one who's pulling the strings and like sitting in the background and letting everyone else get their hands dirty. But spirit is saying this is not going to bring you your desired results. Okay, this is not going to be your desired results. And I don't know, but the energy of like family also just came through here too. Some of you, this could be family related even, and not just career related. But some of you, you might have a lot going on within your family dynamic, of trying to get everyone on the same page or on the same level, right? Because it may be, I don't know why the word confrontation is coming through, but some of you may be dealing with like some family drama. Okay, that's what's coming through, and you're kind of like the middleman to this drama, right? And so you could be the person who is capable of kind of like having everyone on a level ground and pulling, orchestrating things so that everyone could be back on the same page, but you're not willing to do that because you feel like it's too much work to do that, and you don't feel like dealing with people who's already not seeing eye to eye. All right. So that for whoever that relates to or resonates with, that message is also coming through. But besides that energy, there's like this energy of just like you are all planet small. All right, and that's your blockage right now. It's that you all are planet small. You're not living up to your fullest ability, and it's like you're okay with just being in the background. All right, you're okay with letting someone else get their shine. All right, and the attention not being on you. It's like you're okay with that because you don't want to put in too much effort. Okay. And then you guys have wasting time. And it says you're too busy escaping from reality to succeed. Yes. And look, it says wasted time. And this is what you all are doing. You're just letting the time pass you by. All right. And just hoping that what you really desire or it's just going to fall in your lap. Right? You're just hoping that one day it's miraculously going to fall in your lap, and that's how you're going to get what you desire. Right? It's just going to fall in your lap. But it's not. It's not because it's saying you're too busy escaping from reality. So you're not facing the truth around what's really going on in your life, right? And what that is that in order to fully succeed, you are going to have to step up to the plate. All right. You are going to have to step up to the plate. All right. No more passenger seat. No more being in the background. No more watching others get their hands dirty. But you actually full out going out there or putting yourself out there in order to get the outcomes that you desire. Okay, because you're wasting time sitting by idly thinking that okay, this dream house that I want to manifest is just going to come to me, or this dream car that I want to manifest is going to come to me just by mere coincidence of it being in the back of, not even, probably not even at the back, but at the forefront of your mind. You're like, oh, if I think about it long enough, it'll actually happen. No, it's like you actually have to put forth the effort towards it. Okay, you have to actually get out there and get your hands dirty and get out there and do things that make you uncomfortable, or takes you out of your safe space. Okay, and just really seeing things for what they really are. All right, really seeing things for what they really are, and stop trying to escape from the reality of the situation. You're being called to really um, focus. Okay, focus and look at the situation. By situation, I mean your current life situation for what it is. All right. And then you guys have mental contest with strength isn't from winning. Struggles define strengths, okay? With control, power, and repressed. All right. And this is like what's coming through is like the battle of the ego. The battle of the egos, right? On this one side, there's just like you telling yourself that not much is required for you to get what you want, right? This is the ego telling you that. And then the other self is like, no, if you want it, you got to get out there and you got to work for it, or you got to put in some extra effort, or, and it's just like the mental contest. It's like the mental contest is between self and self, right? Ego and self. All right. You got control, power, and repress. And the repressed part is like you repressing the spiritual aspect of yourself. All right, that little, you got the ego self and you got the spiritual self. That spiritual self is the self that's saying, hey, it's okay to put yourself out there more. It's okay to step out of your comfort zone more. It's okay to look at the reality of for the situation for really what it really is, because that's going to give you a different perspective and different insight. All right. But then you have the ego who likes to control the situations as well. And so the ego is okay with just telling you is the ego is okay with making you feel like it's okay to just sit back and work from afar, right? Not be too involved, right? And so the ego is saying, oh no, that's your comfort space. That's, things will manifest as long as you stay here in your comfort space. It'll come to you. right? And so it's the mental contest of, okay, what do I do? All right. Like, how do I overcome the blockages, the fears that I have around the situation, so that I'm not wasting time, right? So that I'm actually putting forth the energy and the effort towards the things that I want to manifest. All right. And then you guys have insecurity. Please understand your worth, your value, your purpose here on earth. Wait, it's not focusing. There we go. There is no need to feel small or compare yourself to others. All right. And this makes sense because this is just like what I was saying earlier. Like, you guys are not living up to your full capacity. All right. And so this card coming out is telling me that that's because there's insecurity around this. There's insecurity around you all not living up to your full potential. All right. And that's what I said at the very beginning. You guys are not allowing yourself to to be great. Power number three. I feel like you guys are not allowing yourself to be great. And I feel like a part of it is the ego self talks you out of it. All right. The ego self tells you this is your comfort space. This is your comfort zone. So stay here. Right. And your spiritual self is saying, no, you're made for far more greatness, right? Far much greatness than what you're settling for right now. And so at this point, you're just wasting time because you're not actually allowing yourself to be put out there. You're not putting yourself out there enough. You're not living up to your highest potential enough, right? And it's because the ego, and this is why I feel like the pulling strings was you, right? So that pulling strings is actually your ego self. It's what's coming through, right? It's telling you that it's okay. You'll get what you want. Just stay here in your comfort zone. Don't worry. Just do bare minimum, and bare minimum is going to get you this greatness that you desire, right? And it's that's really not the case, because in order to get that greatness that you desire, you are going to have to put in a little bit more effort than what you may have been used to doing. All right. And then you have inconsistent. And it says, think about if your thoughts, actions, and routines are inconsistent. Does it serve you well on a daily basis? Right? Does it serve you well to be inconsistent? No, because you're not going to always get inconsistency, does not give you consistent outcomes, right? If you're being inconsistent around something, then the outcomes to those things are likely to be inconsistent as well, which means that there is a fluctuation of energies, a fluctuation of emotions, a fluctuation of outcomes. There's just this inconsistency that just keeps drawing you back to square one, right? So you're like, okay, let's try this again, or let's do this again, rather than having a straight set out vision, plan, focus in mind that's actually going to get you there, and not being all over the place with it. All right. And that's like the mental I'm being drawn back to the mental contest. That's just like, this is all power number three, a war, a battle. I was going to say war or battle with self, right? Between you and the ego. I feel like the ego part of you wants to keep you in your safe space, in your comfort zone, and it doesn't want you to branch out, right? To explore, to jump into these different energies of exploration, or pushing the limits, or challenging yourself, right? I feel like the ego gives you just enough to feel like you're thriving or you're making it, but in reality it's like an illusion, right? Because if you could really look back and see where you started versus where you're at, you might see that you haven't really gone too far, right? It's because the ego sets up this illusion to make you feel like the little steps or the baby steps that you're making are getting you somewhere, and you may look back now and realize, like, wait, but I really haven't, right? And that's because you're playing it small. So in order to see big changes and big outcomes, you need to take bigger steps. Okay, no more baby steps around whatever this is, because at the end of the day, you might look back and you may realize now that you've just been wasting time this whole time. All right. and you don't want it to get further into the future and really feel like you've been doing nothing but just wasting time. So Spirit is saying to stop being inconsistent with your routines, make a plan, make a well thought out visual, a plan of what you want to actually like make the steps towards executing it, not just seeing it in far sight, right? Or, something that's so far away. Um, just actually putting forth the steps and the efforts towards making bigger steps towards whatever that it looks like for you. All right. And stop being insecure around the dreams that you have, right, and your ability to manifest them, right. um Spirit is also saying it's okay to think outside the box. It's okay to dream big. So don't feel like anything that you may have is too far-fetched. Okay. It's only too far-fetched if you allow yourself to believe that it is. If you talk yourself out of it saying it's too much work. If you allow the ego to pull the strings telling you, yeah, stay here in your comfort zone. Don't worry what you want to come to you. Right. Breaking free from the inconsistencies around what you're trying to do, making a plan and actually sticking to it, making a plan and actually staying focused. All right. There's no need to play it small. And I'm being drawn to the other message on that card. And it's no need to play it to feel small or compare yourself to others. All right. So don't look at where you are in life now as a comparison to where someone else is in their life, because we all have completely different journeys. All right. So just make a plan, be consistent with it, stick with it, and know that you're actually making strides towards that plan. You're making big strides towards that plan. All right. And not just doing the little bare minimum, okay, to get to where you want to go. All right. So now let's see what additional messages wants to come through with the tarot. So thank you, beautiful, beloved Mother Goddess Isis. What additional messages do you have for pile number 3? Yes, and I felt like that pulling strings, especially with this mental contest coming out, I felt like that pulling strings was you. Um, and the mental contest just confirmed that it was you. So it's like a battle between self, right? The hanging man. Yes, and the hanging man is someone who's stuck, right? There's no movement with the hanging man. He's just suspended in air, right? But the one thing about the hanging man is that he has the opportunity to view things from a different perspective because of how he's suspended, right, in the air, right? So what he normally would see as upright is no longer how it was perceived to be, right? And that goes back to what I was saying with the illusion, how the ego creates the illusion for you to make you feel like you're making progress, to make it feel like you're making, you know, um, you're moving towards your desired outcome with the baby steps that you're taking. But it's just the illusion, right? It's just the illusion to make you kind of stay stagnant and stuck, which is what the hanging man is, stagnant and stuck. But when he flipped upside down, he's like, oh, wait, this is how this looks from here, from this angle. And so this is what you're being called to do, to use this time to really look at the reality of a situation. This card, as the card says, you're too busy escaping from reality to succeed. All right, and the hangman is going to force you to look past that illusion, right? And so when you look past the illusion and the trickery that the ego has been putting you through, you get to see, okay, it's not as much effort being made as it could be, right? It's not as much effort being made as it could be. I've been planning small this whole time. It's time to step it up a notch. It's time to challenge myself with the too much work. Actually get involved in my dreams, dream manifestations. Actually get involved in the changes that I want to pull forward into my life, right? Page of Swords. All right, having that new sense of clarity, right? And being able to execute at a page is like the beginning of the court suit, right? So he would be the one who would make the plan before actually venturing out, right? But the Page of Swords is also the clarity seeker, right? He's going to go into his plan with precision, okay? Precision to execute. And so this is what Spirit wants to draw you into, is that you need to have the precision, sorry, to execute, okay, and not go through life blindly as you may have been doing, because the ego is feeding you bare minimum, or telling you that bare minimum was enough. All right, so it's time to step it up a notch. All right, you've been playing it small, and that has been your blockage. You have not been challenging yourself. That has been your blockage. All right, you've been wasting time, and that has been your blockage. All right, living in a comfort zone, not challenging yourself enough. And now, look, you have the Magician. Now it is time to execute. Right, execute the plan. You got the Page of Swords here coming up, and you have the Magician following behind it. Yes, using all of the tools, resources, anything and everything that's available to you. All right. And I feel like what I was saying earlier, like, especially with this Magician showing up, you guys have so much potential. Like, this pal has so much potential, but you're not living up to it. Right? You're not challenging yourself enough. You're not putting yourself out there enough, but you have so much potential with this Magician card showing up here. All right. But I feel like you guys may have lost sight. All right. You may have lost sight of reality and what's needed from you in order to fully execute the things that you want to manifest. And so this is your wake up moment, or your wake up call, right? To break the illusion that you're living in. Okay, get out of the ego, this mental contest. Get out of this ego trapped mentality, and open yourself up to receive more. All right, the more you put forth the effort, the more the universe helps you. Okay, and so, and because the universe is also a tool, right, a resource that we can use when we want to manifest our strongest desires. All right, but you have to make a plan and remain consistent with how you're going to get there, and don't be afraid of the work that will be involved around it, or the work that you have to put into doing whatever it is that you need to do. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. It's what Spirit is saying. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself, to make yourself greater. All right, so that is all I have for you, my lovely pal number 3. Please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. And until next time, my loves, take care and bye bye.